This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, dear listener, from wherever in the world you are listening to. We are obviously the Dockers Debate podcast, the award-nominated and shortlisted, but not winning, the swine, nominated podcast for Erith Town. And for tonight's preview show, we have the self-proclaimed oracle of all knowledge. I'll take out self-proclaimed, that's we proclaimed. But we have Brian Walter. Brian, how are we?
Really good, thank you. Thanks for inviting me on to talk about my club and our game tomorrow night once we're recording this. So all good.
Yeah, you've instantly time-stamped it. Thanks, Brian. But what we'll do is, as we say, you've chucked around some very useful and quite interesting information. So we'll come back to those shortly. But is it going to be your first trip down to Erith Town play tomorrow if you come down?
For myself, it is, yes, but I'm speaking to several of our supporters on Saturday, preparing to come down tomorrow night. A lot of people have been down there to see, because it's Thamesmead's old ground, isn't it? So they've seen Harrow play against Thamesmead in the past. So it's a new ground for me tomorrow night. A chance to admire the Blackwall Tunnel for about half an hour each direction, but such is life.
That's a good run, Brian. Half hour each way.
Yeah. You never know. But no, looking forward to it. So it's a break from league action, and we kind of need that at the moment because we've lost 6 out of 7 in the league. So we need to try and turn our form around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm obviously done a little bit of homework on you prior to this call, Brian. You're currently 9th on 29 points. Are you playing the same Isthmian step 4 as us, but you're in South Central, we're in South East. So you're 9th on 29 points. The Dockers are currently 8th on 30 points. So on paper, at least, we look pretty evenly matched. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, I'd say that's a definite possibility. There's 2 teams from your division that have knocked us out of the FA Trophy and the FA Cup this year. We lost to Seven Oaks in the Trophy, and Ashford knocked us out in a replay in the other competition. So we should have beaten them in the first game. But when we went down to Ashford, they turned us over. Poor performance. I think Seven Oaks in the trophy was probably our poorest performance of the season.
To Ashford from your place is a bit of a schlep as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But for the last 7 or 8 years until this season, we've been in the Southern League. Obviously, we got relegated at the end of the last season. We should have been relegated the season before, but there was a last-minute reprieve. No one at the club even knew that we were being reprieved until the fixtures came out. So that was a bit of a pain for us because a new manager had come in. He was recruiting for step 4. Right. And because Met Police took a voluntary relegation, we were reprieved and just found out on the day the fixtures came out that we were staying at step 3. So that meant last season was, to be honest, it was quite shambolic. The new manager didn't get on with the supporters, or his coaching team didn't either. There was a horrible atmosphere at the club. The players and the management kept themselves away from supporters, and it was quite toxic towards the end. And we always looked like we were going down. The corpse kind of twitched a little bit in March, but by then it was done, and relegation finally beckoned for us, and the trapdoor opened, so they say. But thankfully, we had to move over to the Isthmian again, which is better than the Southern League. So you're not going to Plymouth and Truro on a Tuesday night.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is a long way. So, I mean, I've looked at your results, and as you just mentioned it there, you've lost 6 out of 7. So, I mean, they're a bit patchy to say the least. So what are your feelings going into the game? Are you confident? Are you cautious? Do you think, are you taking it as seriously as you might, or do you think you've got bigger fish to fry in terms of league aspirations?
I think you've always got to concentrate on the league, but like I said, this is our first season in step 4 since the mid-70s. We've just been at step 3 for near enough 50 years. We're just like the the cardigan wearing accountant that lives 2 doors down the road from you that doesn't bother anyone. We're not seen as something that upsets people. We're just Harrow is Harrow, their friendly little club. But yeah, we started the season with 5 wins on the trot. We're probably slightly lucky to win 5 in a row, and we lost 5 in a row, won 1, then lost again, lost a couple again. Have we deserved to lose the last 6 out of the last 7? Probably not. A couple of performances were poor, but even on Saturday when Ascot beat us 3-0, we probably should have been up 2 or 3 up before they scored. So yeah, we are taking it seriously without a doubt, because we've got a very, very small squad. So we speak to in the last round we knocked out QPR, and I'm a West London. QPR's my pro team, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So chatting to some of the guys from QPR, they were saying, "Oh, are you guys putting out like a strong team tonight?" I said, "We're putting out our only team. That is our strong team." So we don't have luxuries of massive squads. We've got 2 or 3 clubs in our division who have got a lot of money behind them and who have step 2 budgets. So we can't compete with them. So while the league is obviously our most serious consideration, as you guys will know, with only one club going up and then 2 to 5 in the playoffs, it's going to be quite difficult. League is where we want to progress, but even if we were promoted at the end of the season, that would possibly be a poison chalice with the fact that we're very poor compared to other clubs. Could we survive at step 3? Maybe, maybe not, but it'd be a struggle again. But we'll definitely be taking tomorrow night seriously. It'd be nice to kind of progress and nice to see a new ground.
So do you know what? We've just quickly interjecting there, Rob. That how you described it there is not too dissimilar to Erith Town, really, is it? Like the way we set up and the way we are and the way we compete. And I think there's a little bit of there's that when you talking about there and where you are in the league, how many points you are, where you are in the league. Like I say, it's a carbon copy, and it seems to me that from the sounds of it, before the game even starts, it's just going to be one of those games where will there be huge amounts of quality? You don't know, but you're going to have 2 very hard-working teams there in a knockout competition.
Oh, without a doubt. We've got some quite athletic players. Going forward, we've got some very tricky wingers. The forwards have been firing blanks for the last few weeks, which is probably an issue why we're losing games. We've had 14 league games in a row where we've not kept a clean sheet, and we've got a habit of conceding some really poor goals recently. Although
excellent, that's what we want to hear.
That's what we want to hear, Brian. Thanks for that, mate.
Exactly, building yourselves up. But then probably the last 2 games against Binfield and Ascot on Saturday, they've probably had their goal of the season winners scored against us. So that's just the way your luck's going at the moment. But it can turn around. We didn't play badly on Saturday, and I like to think we'll be quite a competitive game tomorrow night. And if we progress, then good. If not, good luck to you guys. So may the best team win.
So you said you're a bit goal shy at the moment, but looking at the goal scorers, Leo Seri seems to be your top goal scorer. It's on 10. And then you got Donnell Winter on 5, and then you got a few people on 4s and 3s. So you've got goals in you across the pitch. They're not all coming from like one person. So that must give you a little bit of confidence that you can get that back.
Leo was out for 5 weeks with an ankle injury. He came back in the defeat at Binfield 10 days ago now. Came on a sub, lasted 20 minutes, and then he got cleaned out from behind by an awful tackle. Same ankle again, so he's going to be out till probably the new year again. So that's quite disappointing. Yeah, Durnell's got 5. We've got Jethro Odomasu, who plays up front of him as well. He's very lively as well. He can score goals. But just looking at our stats, for the last 6 games, we've scored 10 goals. And only 3 have been scored by forwards. Last Saturday, all our 3 goals in the 4th defeat at Binfield were scored by defenders. So, but
them at short corners.
Yeah, but it is. I think that's set play is the way we score. We score a lot of goals. We've got one tactic anyway. I'm sure your guys, because everyone's got the green little VO cameras now. Everyone can see how everyone plays. And our one tactic from corners and free kicks corners especially, is to put basically 9 bodies in on top of the keeper, whack it under the crossbar, and see if we can score that way. It's probably not the most aesthetically pleasing on the eye, but if it works, it works. So
it's effective.
Tony Pulis for years. and it's working for Arsenal at the moment.
That's kind of where we played QPR in the previous round of this competition. It was their youth set up their under 21 side, and most of them were 17 or 18, never mind slightly older. So the first 20 minutes, they looked very good, very well drilled. You can see they train every day and they knock the ball around very nicely. But there's a difference at 17 years old. You've not got a 6'5" electrician steaming into your corners, have you? So it kind of levels the playing field up a little bit. So that's what you have to use to your advantage.
There's a long way to go, obviously, in the season so far. Do you think it's going to turn around? Are you confident?
The manager's confident. I must say that the manager and his team and his management team, they've been a breath of fresh air this year. From the first day they came in, after the games there, we've got two bars at Harrow. There's a front bar and a back bar. And the food and both teams traditionally have always come to the front bar and just mingled with the fans. So last season, for whatever reason, the management decided to take the players into the back bar. There was no link at all between both clubs, and the atmosphere was so toxic that we didn't even have a player of the season at the end of the year, which is first time ever. Yeah, it was that bad. But this year, Ben, who's come in, he was at Northwood last year, for 3 years. They were a Step 4 team. He's come in and he's been a breath of fresh air with his coaching staff. They're in the bar after the games on a Saturday till 10 o'clock at night, just chatting. The players stay till 6 o'clock. They mingle with the supporters, and there's a great atmosphere. So, will we turn it around? I think I'm pretty confident that we will. Like I said, there's several clubs in our division that are paying silly money, that are just signing people left, right, and centre. When we've played teams that are paying players £500-600 a week, and there's 3 sides of our league that have got a budget of 4, 5, 6, even £7,000 a week. You can't really compete with that. All we ask is, as a Harrow supporter, is we just want to see our players go out, give it their all. We know we'll get beaten sometimes, but as long as they walk the pitch and say, yeah, you gave it your all, we're happy with that. So, great. Will we turn it around? I'd like to think, as I said, this is our first season at Step 4. It was kind of unknown waters for us. So, we're probably where we should be now, 8th or 9th at the moment. But I think before last Saturday's game, I think third to 10th was separated by 3 points, which is pretty crazy. So a couple of wins, you're right back up there.
I mean, the thing is as well, is like you talk about the strengths of some of these divisions, and like if you look at like obviously the division we're in, you've got the Ramsgates and the Margates and things like this. But without trying to be too silly, there's no mugs in your league neither. Like Farnham, I remember when Erith went down to Farnham in the cup, and I'll hold my hands up and Rob will back me up as well. This was probably one of the only times, or one of only 1 or 2 times that Erith really got outplayed. Kingstonian, obviously some teams, some history there. Hayes and Yedding, up until a little while ago, were a big name in the non-league game, and they've still got a little bit of credit in the bank there. Rayners Park Vale, we played in the pre-season as well. And you know what? Even though they're in the bottom 4 at the moment, that like the Met Police were a team who were ones that people always used to look out for. So, to me, looking at some of those names in there and considering where you are on the league table, Brian, in the nicest way, you seem to be doing a little bit of a disservice saying, we might do this, might do that. You seem to be doing quite well.
No, I like to think we are. Like I said, our fantastic start, we were top of the league for about 3 or 4 weeks, and it was pinch yourself time. That's not happened for a long time. But there are some big names. Met Police, I think they struggle. They get very poor crowds, and they took the voluntary relegation 2 seasons ago because I believe they lost the funding from the Met Police lottery, which kind of propped them up. So it's at our level, as we've said, we have a very small budget even for Step 4, but we're still going.
Yeah,
it's a huge difference. When we chat at our club, you can't blame players that play at our level. If we're offering £100 a week for someone, if another club, a Farnham, a Kingstonian, or Rayners Lane, those are the 3 clubs with money in our division. If they come in and offer you £500 a week, that's normal.
Take it, ain't you? Yeah,
that's not normal full-time job wages, because a lot of these guys are 20, 21. They've just come out of college. They've not got they're not 40-year-olds with good careers and lots of money behind them.
Yeah.
So you're going to take it.
Yes. What do you what do you, as a fact, you've said that a couple of your chums have been down to the ground, and we discussed it off topic a moment ago, or sorry, off recording. So what do you guys know about Erith Town? You know, like obviously historically they're a Skeffel team and this is their first year in Tier 4, but when the draw was made, have you all gone on Google and had a look at see how they're getting on, or is it a team that you've heard of, or what is it?
No, we'd heard of you. Obviously, like I said, I've heard of the Erith and Belvedere because, 35 years ago was my first ever Harrow Borough game, almost to the day, and that was against Erith and
And you're
Belvedere.
only 36, Brian. So how you remember
Yeah,
that?
I know. It's a miracle, yeah. 35 years ago, I was a slim, athletic teenager with not a care in the world, and that was my first ever game.
Well, weren't we all, Brian? Weren't we all?
Yeah.
I was going to
Nowadays,
say, did you have an afro like Rob used to have?
not quite. More of a modern romantic look.
Yeah.
But now, 35 years later, I'm a fat middle-aged guy that makes Statler and Waldorf look like rays of sunshine. But we all get that way, don't we? So
ain't we all, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, everyone to Google it because either yourselves or Cray we were playing against because we won our tie about 5 weeks ago. I think 3 or 4 weeks before you guys played. So we Googled both your sides and stuff, and I've kept an eye on you for the last couple of weeks. Football web pages had a look through. You seem to be scoring quite a lot of goals. Was it 7-3 you won a couple of weeks ago? That was the game against Cray, wasn't it?
7-4.
7-4.
That was the
7-4.
weirdest game. Weirdest.
Okay. So you keep an eye, but because you're not in our division, you look and see what it is and see where you are. And people say, "Oh, it's the old Thames Mead ground." So I don't believe our sides have ever met before. I could be wrong on that, but
I don't remember. I mean, not in the last 7 or 8 years, anyway. So
no, we've got a few.
So who would you say, Brian? Like looking at the list of your squad and everything like that, and you know you've got Leo Seri on 10 goals, Durnell Winter there, Jeff Rose on 4, Diego Dunbar Bonnie's on 3. Your goals seem to be very split across the board. You know, like we were talking to a Ramsgate fan a little while ago, and apart from Joe Taylor, who's 1 million goals so far, they only had about 3 or 4 other goal scorers of note. Your goals do seem you said as well in the last game that a lot of your defenders have been scoring recently. You've got 15 players who have got goals this year. That's not too bad.
No, it's good. It's been spread around. We'd like the forwards to start scoring some more because they're the ones that the chances are coming to. That cost us on Saturday when their keeper he made 5 or 6 saves, but the ball was hit straight at him all the time. So, the goals are being shared around. Like I said, Leo's going to be missing. So that's a blow for us. Durnell is sharp on his day, and Jethro as well. So I'd imagine they'll be our front two tomorrow night. But even from midfield, our midfielders are getting forward. Harry McCorkle's got a good left foot on him. And the other guys, we kind of play 2 wing backs. And our free kick takers are centre backs. James Gertine scored a cracking goal from a free kick against Sutton Common on a Friday night back in, I think it was probably September, October now. He sees himself as our free kick specialist since scoring that, but he's taken about 6 or 7 since, which have gone nowhere near. Yeah. He took one in the second half of the game against Sutton Common because they played down at Carl Shulton. I think I described it in the match report as it landed in the garden of the American Embassy down in Battersea and called a security alert. So it was that bad.
So where are you strong on the pitch? Where do you think the danger's going to come from? Where do you think you're going to win your battles best?
I think out wide is where we create most of our attacking comes from out wide because we don't have the 2 guys we'll be playing up front. As I said, will be Durnell and Jethro. I think 5'10" is a stretch for both of those. They might put on their passports, but they'd be lying by a couple of inches. So they're quite diminutive front men. So we get guys coming out wide. Normally the fullbacks are overlapping. Probably Keegan Bloom on the right tomorrow night, and Diego Dunbar Bonnie on the left. So we've got a lot of the pace in the side out wide and up top, and that's where we try and create our chances from. we don't have the old-fashioned number 9 that can bully the centre half. And yeah, we kind of just need someone that can do that will just deflect the ball in off their butt cheek from 2 yards to get us going. Because we try and score the prettiest goals you can imagine. We beat 3 or 4 players, cut back again, and then try and walk it in. That's been our kind of Achilles heel for the last month or so.
Getting towards the end of this now, because I think we've covered everything that we need to cover. What do you? What's your prediction for the game tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I listened to your podcast when you had the guy from Ramsgate and he predicted 3-1 to them, and it was 3-1 to them. So it's a tough act to follow, isn't it? So
it is against Ramsgate.
I think Ramsgate are a tough act for a very good team.
Well, I'm going to go with cup half full, or glass half full, as they say. And I'm going to say we're going to edge it 2-1. Do you want goal scorers as well?
If you want. I'm
going to go for Andrew McCorkle. Our midfielder's going to score the first. And the second is going to be Stephen Langley, our 24-year-old centre-back who is probably the supporters' player of the season at the moment. He plays a bit like Beckenbauer. He just brings balls down and dribbles out of defence, which is obviously quite worrying at times. But when it comes off, it looks great. When it doesn't, obviously.
But when it doesn't, he looks like a floundering fish on the on the banks of the river. Yeah. But
exactly.
Yeah, I think I think it's do you know what, 2-1 sounds exciting. I might go a little Cray Wanderers, and I might go for like a 4-3.
Okay.
Well, if you're letting in soft goals at the back, and we do have the ability to score, then yeah, I'm going to go for a fairly confident 3-1 to the Dockers.
Brian's sitting there like you swines. You're both double teaming me.
No, if we didn't go with like the glass half full and think that our team's going to win, then that's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? Because you always hope, even when you're going to play someone 2 divisions above you, you always go in thinking, oh, you know what, I really think we could probably snatch this 2-1 or so. And when you're 4-0 down after 18 minutes, you kind of reevaluate a bit, don't you? But that's life.
Yeah, well, that was quite funny. You was talking about the Ramsgate game a little while ago with a 3-1 and it ended 3-1. We actually went 1-0 up, and even I was like, "Was this meant to happen?" kind of thing. You want to be positive, but even you think, "Wow!" But then obviously it all come back and bit us. But do you know what, Brian? Thank you for coming on the show. As I say, we'll wrap this up because we want to do a quickish one so that we can get this out nice and quick. But as usual with all of our guests, Brian, I'll even let you buy me a pint.
Yeah, I'll be down there tomorrow night if the Blackwell Tunnel plays ball. I'll be down there in plenty of time. We'll meet up in the bar and we'll discuss some off-air shenanigans that go on in our divisions, which is always good.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
All right. Cheers, Brian. Thanks a lot for your time. Coming on the
thank you, Brian.
Preview.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you at the game.
See you tomorrow, mate. Take care.
Right.
Take care.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Every day when you log into ChumbaCasino.com, the ultimate online social casino, you get a free daily bonus. Imagine if you got daily bonuses in other parts of your life.
I chose French fries over loaded French fries.
I asked Stuart from accounting about his weekend, even though I don't care.
I updated my operating system without having to call tech support.
Collect your free daily bonus at ChumbaCasino.com now. And live the Chumba life. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.